What if we started, instead of like just bam right to you, what if we were just kind of casually talking, like starting off like, dude, did you guys watch the Niner Raider game? That was awesome. And then boom.
What do you get when you mix 401k with beer, retirement plan conversations, fun, and hijinks? You get Retireholics, the coolest retirement plan show in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Every episode, we're going to introduce you to a new beer. This episode is St. Archer's Pale Ale out of San Diego, brewed by the surfers in this world. 5.5% alcohol by volume and should be a tasty treat.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And thanks to Darren here in the office for the beautiful bottle opener from Canada.
I need a brown bag. All right. Oh yeah!
Oh, Scott!
Jeff's pretty excited about this. Well, the retirement plan industry is a little messy.
That's gonna be a keeper. For sure.
You are the dumbest person alive. What is wrong with you?
So don't feel bad about that.
That's so bad, Jeff.
You do.
For our best practices kind of segment,
Best what?
lame corporate word. What are advisors doing?
Are you practicing it, or is it really going on? Like, I practice golf.
Best
I'm not good at it. I'm great at
It's
it.
things that people are trying to do that call
Better than
practices.
Shankaholic.
Shut
over
up
here.
for a second. Okay. So, what advisors are doing out there that we get to see firsthand, and what I think is a big one because of fee regs, 404A5, 408B2, which, by the way, I know that was some time ago, 2 years
Very
now.
relevant still.
But now is when the teeth are kind of clinching down, right? Now is when plan sponsors are really thinking about it.
They
And what I wanted to
understand
bring
better.
up is something that we're involved in all the time with record keeper partners, with advisor partners, is when you're going after a prospect, trying to win a takeover plan, you're trying to convince that plan sponsor that to move to you and your team and potentially your new record keeper solution would be, advantageous to them. Many times the go-to is cost, right?
Inevitably.
It's your easiest thing to go at. And I'm not accusing anyone because I'm the same way. If I see something that's overpriced, I'm going to jump on that, right? It's a great way to win that plan for my advisor.
Is that how you go about purchasing surfboards? I'm just curious.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But if I saw one, that was, yeah. So when I see an overpriced plan and you're with an advisor, I'm like, we can take advantage of this. We're going to show them something better. Because as a consumer, if someone walks in and says, you're paying too much, I can get you something better for less, that's an easy sell, right? And it's the truth if you're helping them. So here's the problem with that.
This is where you're going.
Yeah,
so.
and my question to you is, there's so many games that are played with those numbers because unfortunately in our business, one of the biggest costs is the investment cost.
Not one of the biggest costs.
Well, many
typically.
times it depends typically, and that is a number that can be massaged, tweaked, interpreted differently. So it's a tough game out there, and I'm not so sure I really approve of how everyone in the industry is going at this, but
no, and everybody's got different thoughts with it too. Is how do we represent those numbers? Each vendor is different. Each advisor has a different belief.
they're all trying to do it differently.
And the key, I mean, in the time that I've been doing this, the key that I always come to, the term is that it has to be apples to apples. So when you're showing what a client currently has versus what you're bringing to the table as an advisor, what you have to portray to the client is that it is even.
That's what the person with integrity does, right? Is they
That's
say, I'm going to take your current program, present it to you in one way, and the way I'm going to show you my new proposed will be the same way. So it makes sense. But where the games get played is when they go, here's your current lineup, and I'm going to get technical here and use an example. Here's your current lineup of A share or R3 equivalents, right? And maybe there's a wrap on there of 50 bips, and I'm going to show you that lineup, and then I'm going to show you my program where I'm going to use institutional share class of index funds, like Vanguard stuff, totally different. I've gone from apple to pineapple, and I might have a wrap as well because there's no rev share in my funds. There's no rev share in my funds, and now I'm showing you this gap of 60 bips.
Well, and I'll take it even further. You talk about best practices at times. What I see often when sitting in that, and I won't say sitting in that meeting because typically the advisor and I tend to speak the same language and get away from that, but when we're competing and we're seeing what another group is bringing to the table, is that not only will they show a completely different share class, potentially with a higher wrap to make up for those costs, but you're seeing a weighting of the cost versus a linear average, for example. Right. And so often I sit in those meetings where the client says, why is what I currently have less expensive in terms of an investment cost than what you're proposing to me? And often it's because they have half of their assets sitting in a fixed account or a guaranteed account. And the current provider's representing it as zero. And this gets back to what you mentioned a moment ago, as I was being so naive in saying you need to have it apples to apples, is that many of your competitors don't. And I mentioned this to an advisor today. 98% of what Mark and I do out there when talking with folks are trying to build trust. Well, and if you can look the client or the prospect in the eyes and say, "Hey, you taught me this at the beginning. I'm gonna lift open the hood, and I'm gonna help you see what this engine looks like."
I'm glad that you said that because I was gonna try to conclude that to say that there's so many games that can be played. You talk about fixed income. You talk about GICs. You talk about even we know crazy stories of people map to the target dates with rev share, but then move to. There's so many games that can be played that it really, in the end, comes down to will they trust you to say, look, I'm here giving you the no BS version of how this. And if that client or even that advisor who's looking for your help goes, okay, I believe in Chad or Mark, and they're telling me the truth how this works. That's really where it all comes down to, right?
The unfortunate part, as we all know sitting here and many listening will know, is that often, and I'm just being blunt, they look at the cost.
Sure.
They don't care what game's being played. I sat in a meeting of almost a $4.5 million plan where they called us back and they said, is there any way you can get your investment costs down to X, which was below 1%? And I said, well, of course we can, but all we're going to be doing is loading that lineup with passive funds.
Yeah, right.
But of course we can get there. Well, we want to see that. You're losing focus of what this is all about.
Well,
and we know that in a prudent, diversified menu, it's not going to be all passive funds. That's not what is the right approach for these participants. Simcoe?
Seriously?
Simcoe hops.
Wow. That's really lame.
What do you think about this beer?
That it tastes like Coors Light, but way better.
You would. It's a casual pale ale.
I only like Coors Light.
It's got
space
multi.
You know the space age Oh! It's time for the Wheel of Ice.
The Wheel of Ice.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Every episode, one poor sap
it's gonna
will be
ice.
I'm
guessing. My bet's on Chad.
And they will have to pound the Smirnoff Ice.
I'm guessing Chad. I can't see it, but I know.
You're the one that likes the flavor of
I
Smirnoff.
don't
I have
like
no
it
idea
at
who
all.
the loser is.
You
I can't
called flavor of Smirnoff.
It's Mark.
It's Marky's.
Seriously?
You're the Smirnoff Ice, and I've got it right here for you.
From St. Archer.
I have a pretty pale Smirnoff Ice.
Who makes Smirnoff Ice? Question of the week.
Who makes it?
Yes.
Who cares?
I don't know.
Wow.
Actually, I'm relatively impressed.
The day I lose,
I'm
it's
sorry,
not
guys.
gonna work
We
that
gotta
way.
we gotta shoot that again.
Hopefully you're ready for
Hell
that.
yeah.
Brooke,
Hook us up, Brooke.
what's our question of the
In
show?
celebration of the San Francisco Giants' third World Series win in 5
Hell yeah.
years, which Giants player would make the best retirement plan compliance administrator?
Ooh.
We're gonna start with you, Chad.
I thought the common answer would probably go to Sergio, because
Sergio Romo.
you have to be able to just
The common
dedicate, get in there to get it done,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
exactly what he does.
I would not hire Sergio Romo as an administrator.
That's because you're
Didn't he lose the starter gig though?
starter, closer,
Closer,
gig,
whatever.
Closer
Hey,
gig.
hey,
He's
no,
the dumbest
no.
person
This was a
alive.
committee.
What is
This was a
wrong with
committee
you?
effort.
Hey,
Mark.
he passes, his client passes ADP test, and he's like,
Yeah. Actually, I take it back.
They're both
I
wrong.
pull everything I previously said. It's me being a pitcher wanting to go that route. You have to go the man that calls the game. You have to go to Buster, right?
that's a good call.
That guy
He's the guy
sounds
that sits
hot.
back there. He coordinates the field. He's calling. I think
That's a
he's
great
calling
call.
pitches at least. I haven't paid attention whether or not Bochy's calling, but he's controlling a staff. He's working the game. I'm going Buster.
I hate that you're right. Buster feels he would make a good compliance administrator.
Could you imagine seeing Buster quote code? He'd be talking about limits and 415 codes.
Buster would be a
He'd
good-
just be hitting it right on the nose.
I hate to give it up to you, but that's a good one. I hadn't thought about it.
That's
No, these are Giants, not Raiders. So who?
Yeah, good luck.
I'm going with the panda. Oh wait. Wait.
No, he qualifies.
Right.
He was
Our
a Giant.
administrators are dedicated, tenured people, and he just bails for money.
Ooh,
Right. So
man,
Man.
harsh.
I'm going with Hunter Pence because you got to be a little loopy at times to be able to deal with some of the
Really?
stuff we have to deal
Hey,
with.
you've got to see the unique setup
Right,
of a
right,
business.
That's so funny.
And he's got crazy facial hair like our loans and distributions guy, like just kind of all over the place.
It depends on the day of the
Like,
week.
hashtag yo, that's crazy.
I think Hunter Pence would be like at the bottom of the
But
list.
He's just hashtag.
You're right. But
Really
part of
good.
it is that I would want to work with that guy. Like I would want to come to
I
the office
love-
every day and be like, "Hey Hunter, what's going on?" He'd be like, "Tell me the coolest story ever."
Well, okay, so that's a separate question. Would I love to have Hunter Pence here in the office working at BDC?
Although,
Oh my
yeah.
god,
right. Although
guy's sick.
Madison
Team player.
Bumgarner would drink 5 beers at the same time, so we
Hunter
really
Pence
have
would be
to
my
go on this.
first choice.
Madison would be that would be a good fit.
But
too.
I'm sticking with
That's a
Hunter
number
Pence.
2.
Yeah, I want. He'd be great.
I totally disagree with you. I totally agree with you.
So where are you going? You're
Mi-
going
mine's
setup, man.
way less sexy than yours. But I don't know why, but I was thinking Jeremy Effeld because he seems kind of nerdy to me. Like he could almost be one
I
if
see
he
that,
wasn't
yeah. I
a
can see
baseball
that.
player.
Right.
So I could see him coming to work in
Yeah.
khakis. For valuable content for our advisors, right, Shay? Shay. Content for advisors, good. See, very good.
Say yes.
So we're gonna work on
Say
that.
yes,
Yes.
Petey.
And so for our next episode, I got 2 things that I want to key you guys into for the future.
See ya.
Is we're gonna have a in-depth, detailed discussion around TPA revenue share. So this is something that's really not talked about a lot. It's not funny. It's interesting. TPA rev share is not talked about a lot.
Is it a
especially-
TV show? Can you leave me alone?
He's getting a call from someone during
Oh, wait,
my
hold on.
conclusion.
I'm doing business here, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
TPA
give
rev
me-
share we'll talk about, and we'll
Give me
do it in
4
a
large
very
pizzas.
disclosure-based way, an eye-opening way, letting you inside, the closed doors to see how all that stuff works.
Most think, and I'm just being honest, most think that it is a way for TPAs to make more money.
Right.
And that's not it at all. And
We'll cover all
we'll
angles.
Cover that.
We'll cover all angles. Try to do this. And for the first time,
Whatever.
we're going to bring in a guest. We're going to attempt to bring in a guest. I'm going to call it the suit and tie segment. So,
Do we have to dress up for this one?
not you guys. I know you live your days in suit and ties, but we're going to bring in a DCIO specialist, in the
Celebrity
retirement plan
status
area,
right now.
defined contribution investment only person. We're going to force this person to wear their suit and tie and act in a professional manner.
Do they
while
get a try?
No,
the beer?
no. This person's coming from a Fortune 500 company. They need to play by the rules. We will drink our beer. We will make fun of them in their suit and tie. We'll ask some questions about their mutual fund and put a little Retireholics spin on the interview. So stay tuned.
Hey, Chad. Yeah. No, last night was good. It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. Wait, what? What, you want me to explain to you what a 401k is? Really? Oh, I thought you already knew that. No, I have time.